Alright, let's have a celebration for Sonic's 23rd birthday. Why not? This is Bartman3010 going solo here on Sega Channel Retro. And what better way to celebrate Sonic's 23rd birthday than to go with, I would probably consider the best way to start off, which would be playing through Sonic Jam. Or at least going through the Sonic Museum and checking out some of its things, because, hey, it has a wealth of information from the Hedgehog's past. And you know what? Every time if I want to try and look at, like, a celebration of all things Sonic, it's probably this thing, even though it's basically the worst tease Sega's ever given in terms of, like, hey, how about a 3D Sonic game, but it's really just a compilation of old 2D Sonic games on your next-gen system, which was, of course, the Sega Saturn. But hey, it at least gave us a taste of things to come, and eventually gave us Sonic Adventure, for better or worse, however you want to look at it. But man, oh, this was so cool when you were a kid. You got to go, like, I think there's something that is kind of missed, especially in, like, all these retro collections. You just don't see anything of this kind of quality. You know, obviously it's not, this probably doesn't look nearly as good as it could back in the day, but it's still something, you know, a level of detail that you wouldn't expect out of, like, the Mario All-Stars collection. Because, like, this was probably the first time that I ever actually got to realize that there was, like, all these different, like, sort of different nuances when it came to bringing Sonic to other parts of the world. Like, you know, since I'm American, I am completely used to this kind of box art. Let's see it load up. Of course, this is, like, the copy of Sonic 1 that I owned back in the day. Because I didn't get a Sega Genesis until maybe after 1992, and I eventually got to play the first Sonic game. And that was the version that I got. But then, like, it was so weird seeing, like, this kind of art in represented for Sonic, and then you get to the Japanese box, and it looks completely different, almost. See? He is the most famous hedgehog in the world. It says it right there in the box. Don't just sit there and waste your precious time. When you want to do something, do it right away. Do it when you can. It's the only way to live a life without regrets. Sega. Alright. But, like, through the Sonic Museum here, like, what I'm, with this, history lesson here, it actually shows off all these different box arts, and pretty much all the different games that had come out at that point. In fact, let me go back there. Like, it actually shows you, like, all these different things, including, like, some of the stuff I never really heard of since, you know, I was, like, American and a kid, so I didn't get to hear about this stuff until here, such as being a Formula 1 team sponsor, as well as advertising the Sonic Gene. But yeah, I do remember this at least, the Sega, the Cherry Coke Summer Tour, which I think they were showing off Sonic 3 in. And this also talks about the Sega Rock the Rock, and for whatever reason, it shows off the blurb for Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, but it doesn't mention anything about the other Sonic cartoon that came out around the same time. But yeah, I'm not going to show off everything that's in here, but it also shows off games like Sonic 3D Blast, which, ironically, didn't come out until after Sonic Adventure, so you don't get to see, like, the Japanese box art or anything like that in this little museum here. And it gives screenshots for, like, basically every Sonic game that had released at that point. And also, and the last thing that it shows off is Sonic the Screensaver. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to do in this 3D museum in terms of, like, actual gameplay. But there are little challenges over here that we're gonna go check out. Oh, we were just here. Because, like, you'll see all these different checkpoints and, like, other items that pop up every now and then. And that's for this. And some of the items, like those checkpoints, don't appear until you clear, like, certain mission lists. And they don't take long to finish. And as long as you can set some sort of record, then you can advance on to the next one. So let's go get Trony Rings. And there's probably a fast way to do this, but we're just going to do it this way. And then it sounds off with a little chime saying that we can go back. Oh! If you touch Tails, then it's another objective you can finish. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to get any better than some of the records that I did here, like about under 2 seconds to grab Tails. But hey, what else are you going to do with your $400 system back in 1997? Because you were still waiting for the next big Sonic game, and we never really got it until, like, after the system had come out. And of course, there's these little things here, too. Little cheat codes that you can use. For some reason, it only shows off stuff in Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. It doesn't have any cheat codes for Sonic 3 or Knuckles, despite the fact that they're in this collection. And we'll probably come back to this later. This is the movie theater that has, like, a bunch of, like, Japanese commercials and, like, different bits of animation that have just kind of surfaced over the years. There's also a music test. Back over there that I passed over was an art gallery, and there's, like, character bios and, drawing guides for Sonic that have been scanned in. But, like, actually, let's go back. Because, like, so, like, here's the thing that I'm so confused about. Like, supposedly he was supposed to turn, like, 16... Or at least he was already 16, and then every time you saw some sort of birthday celebration, he turns 16. And this is like 10 or 20 years after this game had come out. He also hates the word slow. And he likes fast-moving things, so apparently he likes cars, so if you're wondering why Sonic is in a car, that's because he likes fast things. I don't know if he gets off by that. Let's not talk about that. And it's also weird since you look at when you look at collections that had come out later on, like Sonic Mega Collection. It shows off scans of like Sonic color guides from like American-made or European-made like how to draw guides. So there is definitely quite a bit of a clash. But a lot of the stuff you'll find here is mostly like Japanese-made illustrations. And of course, as you might have guessed, this is probably the first time I had ever been introduced to the Japanese language and had been completely confused by it. But man, look at all these cool drawings. Oops. Yeah, I remember I picked out, like, the drawing in the middle because, like, oh, that's from Triple Trouble. That's so cool. And, of course, if you go to the other side, we can see Dr. Eggman. And I was so blown away. It's the Lives icon. Or at least it looks like the icon you would see in, like, Sonic 2 or Sonic 3 on those monitors. And I was like, oh, man, that's so amazing. But you know what? Let's come back to this museum later. Because let's go play a Sonic. Let's go play, I'm going to actually put the vote up to you guys. What I'm going to show off here is The fact that you can play through like different difficulty modes through these 4 Sonic games, but I'm only going to play through one because there's actually a few other games I like to try and get to, and take one last look at the museum before we stop streaming. But I'm going to put up to you guys which of these Sonic games you would like to see, because we've seen them, you know, we probably played these games to death, but like Sonic Jam is something that not a whole lot of people get to see, since not everybody owned a Saturn. Let alone the Saturn version of Sonic Jam that actually made a few differences, and since the game had to be converted to a newer platform, there's actually a few fixes. Not all of the like game-breaking bugs were resolved, but a good number of them were fixed. Getting a yeah, I'm getting a lot of votes for Sonic 3. Because, yeah, one thing I should probably point out is the Saturn version of Sonic 2 actually has a lot of slowdown issues, but it's nothing, like, game-breaking, but it is unfortunate that it's in there. And one other thing to mention is that this is the first version of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 that has Spin Dash in it. That Gaga Man had also pointed out in the chat. And it's kind of funny, one of the things that they did to convert the games over is, like, all the music is pre-recorded, so, like, if you pick up some Speed Shoes, it restarts the music, because it has to kind of, it loads a different version of the song, where it's faster. But all the sound effects are recreated using the Sega Saturn's hardware, which is both a good and a bad thing. It's bad because it doesn't sound exactly as it should sound on an actual, like, Sega Mega Drive, or Sega Genesis, whatever you like to call it. Alright, Sonic 3 is winning by a landslide. And since nobody said, hey, let's lock on, we're just going to do that. But you can lock on to any of the games in the collection. Of course, if you lock on Sonic 1 and Knuckles, you just get the special stages, the Blue Spheres minigame. And there's actually so like under extra game, like each game lets you use time attack or lets you launch straight into like a special stage gauntlet. And you can turn off the timeout, where if the time passes 10 minutes, then you lose a life, which you can turn off, thankfully, in this version. And also, one thing that's really cool about this collection, I know a lot of European viewers are probably gonna scoff at our American manuals because they're just in like basic black and white with some really bad like screenshots, but the Japanese manuals are in here too. And of course we get to see our first indication of Sonic the Sketchhog, which you get to see in the zones of each manual for Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. Now we're going to go ahead and zoom in here. Hopefully it'll come out well in the stream. But yeah, look at Sonic. Oh, that's adorable. And there's all these different little sketches of like, oh man, there's a giant ring in there. Or, oh no, collapsing bridge! And then Tails is just flying above because he doesn't care. Oh, but yeah. And we get to see Knuckles in here, I think. Get to see them freak out. It's kind of unfortunate that Sonic the Sketchhog here doesn't really appear outside of the Japanese manuals, but he's definitely a fan favorite. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's pretty bad, Sonic. Although I don't think anything like this ever happens in the game, where if you get... So this is for Carnival Night, right? And that's like the little cannons you can shoot out of, and then smacks you into the spikes. Oh, that's so bad. Ah, there's Tails, or Miles, whatever you want to call him. Look at his long old face. It's so weird. Baba944 asks if Sonic the Sketchhog is on Android, and unfortunately it is not. It's only on iOS, and I think Sega had since delisted the game, which is unfortunate. Oh, there's Knuckles, which looks like Sonic with hair. At least that's what it looks like to me. That's kind of like the one thing of like, Knuckles' sketch Kidna doesn't look that great compared to the other guys. I don't think there's an Amy the Sketchhog, unfortunately, so... oh well. Always thought this was weird. So these are, like, at the end of the manual, it shows you how to take care of your cartridges. Like, I think this is talking about make sure you turn the system off before you take out the cartridge. Don't touch the cartridge contacts. I can't see what that image is due to the compression. And I can't really read the hiragana or katakana here, because I never finished my Japanese classes. Don't smack your cartridge with a hammer, very important. Don't put your tails out in the sun. And call the Sega hotline for all your hints, tips, and, you know, child abuse issues. Alright, well that's enough looking at manuals. Let's jump right into the game. And since we got a lot of games here, again, we're gonna jump into easy mode. Baba944 talks about storing the game. Right, so, one other function that Sonic Jam has lets you play the game, and then once you exit a level, like in the middle of when you're playing the game, it'll save your progress. So, like Sonic 1, 2, and Knuckles that doesn't have any save data, you can just go ahead and just jump right back into where you left off with all the emeralds or anything else that you've collected. Although, ironically, the difficulty mode here actually kind of conflicts with the other difficulty modes. So if you start a normal game, you can just jump right into another save file. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Sonic, Tails, or Sonic and Tails? There are other Genesis compilations or Mega Drive compilations on the Saturn, but I don't think any of them had ever seen an English release outside of Sonic Jam. And on top of that, none of them are nearly as extravagant as Sonic Jam. Like, they don't give you, like, a digital museum, but you probably get, like, an art gallery or something like that. Oh, sounds like Sonic by himself. Oh, gotta vote for Sonic and Tails. What's gonna be? If I had a second player playing with me, I'd probably have Tails come along so we can just really break the game. But yeah, since we're playing on easy, we actually need fewer emeralds to actually finish, to actually get Supersonic, so I'll definitely go for the special stages as well. Aw, man, we got a two-way tie between Sonic alone and Sonic and Tails. I need a tiebreaker. Come on, guys. I'm gonna say Dan Q is saying Sonic by himself. You know what? Let's do Sonic by himself. Sonic alone, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry guys. Yeah, I apologize if I didn't catch those votes later on, because, you know, I am still dealing with a Twitch delay. Alright. Where did Knuckles go? Or whoever that was. Red Sonic? But yeah, you can tell, like, they really tried to... Like, they try to make some shortcuts with, Sonic Jam's sound library. Like, some of them are still pre-recorded, like these springs, that still sound like they're out of Sonic 1 and 2. And, as you can see here, the Rhinobot's missing. There's a second Spike bed that's supposed to be here that's missing. And the rocks that are supposed to be there are missing too. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the special stages are exactly the same, but again, since you need fewer emeralds, it's actually... again, we can get Supersonic much quicker than usual. Oh god. And the game just slowed down there, which could really mess with your timing on these special stages. Again, really unfortunate, but as you, one thing to keep in mind is these games never really had a way, or you know, you never had games like these streaming off a disc until we got to like the Sega Saturn, which is still using a... It's either a 1X or 2X CD-ROM drive, which is insane to think about at this point. Yeah. Yeah, those blue sphere sound effects are really strange coming out of the Saturn. That's alright. Let's keep on trucking. And of course, if you guys want to check out Sonic 3 once again, I would recommend checking out Sonic 3 Complete, as we've demonstrated earlier in this on Sega Channel Retro earlier, which is a phenomenal Sonic 3 compilation. And look, no spike bed here. And Sonic 3 Complete actually has all the difficulty modes, I believe it does, out of Sonic Jam, as well as let you choose which versions of the level layouts you want. Like, you can choose between, like, easy, normal, or hard, or you can pick from the Sonic 3 and Knuckles versions when you lock the cartridges on, since there's actually a difference when you lock the two carts together. More weird sound effects. Uh-oh. Oh, that's right. And now, one of my least favorite parts of the game are these Gumball bonus stages, which I'm not really gonna play with that much. Most because I just think they're kind of boring. And it took me the longest time to realize, because I never really read the manuals that well, but these green gumballs that come out actually repair the springs that are at the bottom there. And you're going to need that if you want to keep these, keep getting these bonuses. It's a neat idea, it just kind of slows the game down for me. Oh, wow, tricky. There's actually a thing of rocks here. Uh-oh. Now here's another weird thing. So, what you guys can't see is I'm actually using the 3D analog pad for the Sega Saturn. Since this game supports it, you can use either the control stick or the D-pad to move around in, and I would not recommend using the control stick in a 2D game, because it's not necessary. Although it's weird, especially these days, since people are so used to the, like an Xbox 360 controller or whatever, like, in their mind, they, like, mentally, everybody wants to go for the control stick first if, you know, they're just playing a game casually and they don't really, like, they're like, oh, I just want to play an old Sonic game or something like that I haven't played in years, so I'll just get Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection and secretly hate myself because it's not a very good port, or not a very good collection. Also, I went the wrong way. You'll also notice the special stages do not speed up in easy mode, which I still don't get. I don't know why this game does that. Whoop. Aha. Boing. Ah. The Saturn had to kind of struggle to get the extra live jingle out of the way. One of the many dangers of the fact that you had to deal with streaming CD technology. And that's one of the things that people don't quite realize about, you know, trying to convert these games to other platforms is some of the limitations. Also, we're gonna try and fight this boss legitimately, because I never fight this boss the right way. Well, I still didn't fight it the right way, did I? He only took 3 hits. And I missed the bubble shield that's in the ground on the right here. Oh well. And hey, that's it for Angel Island, so now we're straight into Hydra City, and we're drowning! Get out. Whew. So yeah, the wall's still chasing us, but now we got these springs to help us out. And somehow I kind of feel like that's a little harder. Or at least harder to get that extra life, but it's easier since there's fewer obstacles you have to worry about. You have more platforms here to help you. You don't have to spin dash. You can just take this game as easy as you like. And of course, while I do say that they have made a few improvements on Sonic 3 with this version, it's not perfect. You can still break the game. I'm gonna break it again in just a moment. Whoa. Oh well. Right, let's not try and break this game too much, because we do... You know, this is Sonic 3. We want to give it as much due as possible. But there's one thing I do like about Sonic. You know what? And of course, people were mentioning in the chat how, like, people kind of prefer Sonic 2 over 3. Well, this is actually my game of choice. And, yeah... A lot of the scripting sequences that you go through kind of slow the game down compared to Sonic 1 and 2. But I don't know, the presentation in this game I think is just top-notch, at least for its time. Or especially for its time. Also, who wants to break the game? I do! Jump through there. Oh, there's no ground. Oh, there's no background. Oh, I died. Oh, there's the top of the level. So yeah, now that everything's fixed, but... a good chunk of this stuff is slightly different. And I think for introducing new players to Sonic, this is actually a pretty cool thing. And it's a shame that these versions don't actually pop up anywhere else. There we go. Whee! Aw, what? That's weird. I don't know what's going on there, but for some reason the special stage ring is not appearing. Oh, I got hit. Because in order to be able to get that, I would have to have already picked it up. Ugh. Oh. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why that's not... why that's happening, but oh well. I just like doing that, sorry. I really like the Insta-Shield in this game, since you can use it to kind of go through certain defenses with just Sonic by himself. Which, in a way, makes him a little faster than the other characters. Ah. Oh, yeah. So you'll probably remember that there was the pipes that you would have to ride along? Well, those are gone. Ah! How did I not get hit there? And I don't think that's like an easy mode thing. Like, you still take damage if you just run head-on into those enemies. Is that Eggman monitor still here? Yep, it is. Ha! So normally this bridge wouldn't be here, and they actually took the time to put the little post there for the bridge as well. There's Caramel special stage. Understandably, the special stages are probably supposed to match with whatever level you're playing on, but I always just kind of... I think I mentioned this before. It might have actually when I was streaming this game for Sonic Amateur Games Expo. I was talking about how I would associate the special stage worlds with food, since, you know, the Japanese kind of like doing that themselves. So I figured this would be Caramel World. And then for the fourth special stage, which is coming up, would be Spearmint World. Where Sonic rides on minty fresh waves of blue spheres. So if Sonic is confirmed to eat rings, does he eat blue spheres and then poop out red ones? Is that what's going on here? I don't understand. Because, like, even Sonic Boom apparently kind of jokes around the idea that Sonic still does in fact eat rings. Not still. Blue Blur Dash 639 asks if the special stages are still as hard as they ever were for Sonic 2. And I think, again, none of the special stage layouts are actually changed. It's just like how many you actually have to deal with, depending on what difficulty mode you play on. Haha! Aw. I'm gonna try and see if I can avoid this. I saw that there was like a bed of spikes up there. I don't think that's right. I mean that's not normal for Sonic in general. Hey, I just took out the boss. And I passed that checkpoint up. Let's see if I can actually... Yes! Aw! I thought I could. Maybe if Eggman is still on screen, I could actually bring the screen over as far as possible. Alright, so for no reason we're in Marble Garden 2. And we actually skipped a level transition there, which is kind of funny. While it, you know, we don't really need any context of the fact that we're in Act 2, obviously they didn't want to kind of make it too confusing, but they also didn't want to kind of put in that much of a bridge. Whoops. Oh well, I guess we're going low. Oh. Yeah, I guess we don't need the spinning top either. I think it's also kind of a good idea to show off, like, some of the lower routes of the Sonic levels, because when you play these games for as long as I have, which is well over 20 years, you kind of forget, like, how how these levels kind of progress. There's a spring missing there, if I'm not mistaken. And then sometimes, depending on what game you're playing, you might actually run into a level where you go through a section that you've never seen before. Most recently that I've seen that happen was Sonic Pocket Adventure on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Because like, for that game, I'm still trying to look for all the pieces that let you build those puzzles. And the more that you complete, the more content you unlock. Like, I think there's like an all special stage mode you can unlock if you want. Making sure I don't miss anything here. Because nothing about these special stages is worse than jumping over a sphere that you're not supposed to. It's the worst. Whew. I apologize if the stream is too blurry, but I'm having to use my high-definition capture card, which has a basic capture functionality for, like, composite video, and that's all I can really use for my Sega Saturn and older consoles. Trying to read the chat here. Lamotoko is talking about how the screenwriters for the new Sonic movie are playing through the old Sonic games on stream. Everybody's doing a lot of streaming stuff for Sonic today, which is kind of surprising. So does this mean if I'm actually good at playing Sonic games, does this mean I can write the next Sonic movie? Pretty please? No? No? Okay. No, David Lurker's trying to get a piece of that action. Don't tell him I told you guys that. Don't take that seriously, by the way. Yeah. Coming up is this, these little, poles that Sonic runs down on. And I can never remember for the life of me, like, which side I should jump off on. Let's see. Oh yeah, when you pause, you get this menu here. Hey, it's a Sonic 2 sprite. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, if I jump to the right here, I can actually skip a good chunk of the level. We're not going to do that. Oh, it's the left. Here is where if you jump to the right, you can skip a good chunk of the level. Never mind. I don't have debug mode on right now, so I can't really go back. Oh well. So much for trying to show off as much as possible. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm trying to remember if Sonic 3 for easy mode, if they actually do reduce the amount of Chaos Emeralds you need to collect, because it has been a while since I last played this collection. But if you do play, like, Sonic 1, you only need to get 4 emeralds, and I think for Sonic 2 you only need 5, so we may just be getting 7 here after all. But the bad part about that is we have less special stage rings we have access to because of the difficulty mode. So we don't have Act 1 or Act 2 of like certain zones we can't really play through anymore. Also, if you try to use the level skip cheat and then get to the levels you're not supposed to on easy mode, the level layouts are pretty much exactly the same as the normal mode. So they didn't really make like the entire game easier, but they made it to where they made certain sections of the game easier to go through. Oh. Huh. Yeah, I was expecting a spin dash here. Muscle memory, I suppose. Ah! I missed it. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if I can supersonic my way through this boss fight. Oh. Almost. You're probably only supposed to be able to hit him 3 times, so this next hit should do him in. And the fire shield failed to stop the fire. Ah! Oh well. Get him, Tails! Good job. Of course, little known fact is Tails' Tails actually works as hitting enemies. Which is very useful if you want to play through the Taxman's, or in Stealth's, Sonic re-releases. I refuse to call them remakes, because they're not really remakes. Port. I like to call it a port. Hey, we're in Act 2. Whoop. Oh, I was trying to look at the chat and didn't realize the special stage ring there. Oh god. I don't know what to call this world. Licorice World, maybe? Like how the 4th world was kind of minty, this one should be... What was I doing? I'd probably consider that world kind of sour. This is officially the worst run ever. Good night. Stream's over. No, I'm just kidding. Let's keep going. Alright. Oh yeah, because we're playing on the easier, I can't do some of the game-breaking bugs that the game has. What? That's not what a balloon sounds like. Oh yeah, and of course, because of the difficulty modes, that still doesn't mean we can go into, like, Knuckles' sections or anything like that. It'd be pointless. Yep. Almost. Haha. That is not a balloon. What is that? Whoa. There we go. I guess these things don't really move anymore. But I think I'm going backwards, if not mistaken. I think I'm on the right track now. Oh boy. There we go. Alright, let's try this again. Oh boy! Yeah, don't fiddle with the D-pad when you're spawning in. That may lead to some very bad circumstances. This is Aqua Blue World. Although I suppose if we're doing that thing again where we have to associate by level, this is probably Ice Cap's Special Stage Association. Alright, so yeah. That's not quite what I thought it was. And that wasn't at all what I thought it was either. I'm trying to close it off so I don't accidentally go to the wrong section and then have to try and force myself to jump over this stuff. Otherwise you'll get stuck and again you'll have to risk losing the entire special stage. Ah! Like this. It's annoying. Let's see. Alright. There we go. All the blue spheres we need are in this room right here. There we go. Alright. Let's go ahead and track on along here. I'm also getting my Skype is lighting up here. That's alright. There we go. Oh no, he's using the powers of an invisible wall to block us. Yeah, if you let that sink all the way through, you can't really lift with that platform anymore, which is kind of funny. Whew. It is cool to see 20 people in this stream right now, which is kind of surprising since I was actually expecting a lot less, because since like Summer Games Done Quick is also, they were doing their Sonic streams, their Sonic runs earlier, and for some reason none of them had ever really acknowledged the fact that today's his birthday. But it is also kind of cool that like there were like a few mods and ROM hacks that were like name dropped in the stream, like Sonic 1 Omo Chow Edition and the Unleash the Generations mod. Oh boy. You want to be careful with these, because if the monitor falls on you, you die. Because you get crushed by it, which is kind of funny. Which I think is funny that there's not really... I can't really think of too many games where a power-up is actually... can actually work against you if you're not careful. And I guess like Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2 is the only other game I can really think of. Alright. Now to get through the... Oh, never mind. You thought we were going to have to go through that barrel. Or what? I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know what these kids were complaining about back in 1993. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna try and get up here. Actually, I think I missed a special stage ring. Nope. What? What? Oh. I got squeezed through. This is not quite the water shield that I am used to hearing. Ah! Let me try this again. Need to scroll off screen so that that balloon will come back, and it's not coming back. Alright, one more time. There we go. What the? There's nothing up there. At least there should be something up there. I know there is. Try one more time. If not, we'll just move on. It's probably on the left I have to go to, not the right. Yep. Well, that was worth it. Although I could probably go higher and there's probably something there, but let's move on. Oh, this is it. Well, that was it. Ah! Haha! Uh-oh. No, no, no! Arrgh. Fine, you win. There we go. But yeah, as probably people have already seen, we've already passed it where that that carousel barrel was supposed to be at, so easy mode makes it to where you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Of course, since I had this game on the Genesis, I had to figure out how to get through it the hard way. And by the hard way, I mean I had to look up in a strategy guide. Whoops. 1, 2. Oh! Ah! 3. Alright. So I should also mention, like, since Chip Cheesem is doing an LP of The Wonderful 101, kind of made me realize that, like, you know, Let's Plays in general are probably going to become a slight alternative to what you would find with games journalism. Or at least, probably what you would find in, like, maybe not even Let's Plays, but, like, just something you would, like, a YouTube video clip is what you would kind of use these days as ways to, like, get good hints on how to play a game, and I don't know why that happened. And I don't know if that's, like, ingenious type of marketing going on there, especially since for, like, Let's Plays, they are technically free advertising. Or at least back when, like, Let's Plays were, like, actually becoming big, you didn't have to worry about, like, monetization and things like that. Especially since, like, Let's Players didn't care about that kind of stuff back then. But, you know, things have gotten a lot more complicated, both ethics-wise and through presentation-wise. But they've become big enough to where they can very much, you know, be a much stronger message of, like, advertising compared to what you would find in, like, a big gaming website like GameSpot or something like that. So, what I'm trying to get at is, like, things like the Carnival Night Barrel can actually live onward. In a more positive light, I would probably say, if you had something like, you know, like what Miiverse kind of does, where, you know, people kind of complain about, like, I don't know how to get through Super Metroid, and all those people just got stuck at what I would actually consider is some really obscure, like, methods of, like, getting through a level. Like, you have to bomb, you know, Morphball bomb, like, a certain part of the ground you can't really see Or it's really hard to tell since it's like one crack compared to everything else. And the game kind of tries to it's trying to teach you to like try everything you can. And of course, once you actually know how to do everything in a game, like the game just changes for you completely. Which is why it's so odd for me to play like a new 2D Sonic game where if it really is styled like the old Sonic games, like it's so hard for me to kind of get through some of the puzzles just because, like, you know, I'm not used to where everything is in a level, and since Sonic goes so fast, it's hard to see everything that's in front of you. Something that, you know, 3D Sonic games kind of try to fix. Alba944 says, if I wait until after 10 minutes, I get 50,000 points. I'm sure he's not kidding. It's probably a bug in the Saturn version, since, again, I turned off the timer, so I can't die from it. Alright. And of course, we are listening to Hard Times, or at least a slight other remix of it. Until this came along. Ah! It just broke off. I'm so not used to that. Oh, Baba mentions that it's also in the normal game too. Again, I'm sure it's real, but you know, it's what? Thank you. I don't need another one, but okay. Alright, I'm on the next launch base. I don't think there's any more special stage rings, though, so we didn't get Supersonic. This sucks. Ow. Let's see here. Brad Buxer's Hard Times, which we were listening to for Ice Cap's theme. Now that's going to live forever, thanks to the internet, and how quickly information kind of spreads through. Oh gosh. Yeah, if you really want to screw yourself over, if you have Tails active, if you hit that thing there, you can get Sonic stuck there forever. It's kind of funny. And you just kind of soft lock the game, or you can just kind of restart the level. And as I was trying to mention before, if you hit start in Sonic Jam, you get this menu here. You could restart the entire game, or just leave the game and go back to the game launcher. And if you hold X, Y, and Z, you can make the pause menu disappear. Oh wow, it won't even let you go through there. So easy mode is actually forcing us to go through a shortcut in the level. Again, you probably wouldn't learn about it unless you were, you know, kind of playing with two players with Sonic, unless you're playing as Tails and you're like, oh, what's up there? If I was Hypersonic, I could jump back down there. Whoops, don't want to do that. You have to make Sonic running or his hitbox misses the cup here. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, if you jump out of that cup the right time, or not, I figure you can make the cup stop, but maybe not. Oh, whoops. Oh well, I want to try and show this off if I can do it right. See? You don't need to worry about hitting those things. Daredevil. Again, one of the cool things about Sonic 3 and all the different character abilities. In fact, we are coming up to the end of Sonic 3, and let's put it up for another vote on what Sonic game we should play next. But we're not going to play any more games for Sonic Jam, but we are going to go back to the museum. I'm going to put up to a vote. We haven't played Sonic 1 or 2 yet, but I think we want to go through the Taxman versions of those. Whoops. So what do you guys think? You have a choice between Sonic 1 or Sonic 2. And we'll figure out the character selection stuff once we actually get there. But for now, the choice is yours. Take your pick, Sonic 1 or 2, on Android. Oh yeah. If I apologize, it's hard for me to kind of read the chat and play the game at the same time, especially since I'm kind of streaming by myself, so if you're expecting me to go to certain places, I apologize. Because remember, we have a ton of games we have to go through. I gotta vote for Sonic 0. We're gonna play Sonic 0. No. Sonic Jump. We could actually play Sonic Jump or Sonic Dash. And since I'm firing up my tablet, we can probably look at one of those. Oh. After 1 or 2. Because I did recently unlock Andronic for Sonic Dash. Alright, so the final boss of easy mode, here, how many hits it takes, but it's probably 6. Alright. Ah! Ho ho! Trick shot. There, that makes up for the fact that I didn't get Supersonic. Let's see. So, for Sonic Dash, if you want to unlock him, you have to play as the android robot 50 times. And the best way to do it, if you want to do it very quickly, just, like, run into some enemy as soon as you start, and that counts as a run. Alright, that's Sonic 3. Let me see if I can try and get this set up while this is running here for our Android Sonic run. Also, if you unlock Andronic in Sonic Dash, you lose the android robot. Which is kind of unfortunate, but oh well. I suppose he's supposed to be like a seasoned character, where you only see him like it's content you see for a brief period of time, and that's kind of why I'm bummed out about things like Zaz in Sonic Dash. Now, obviously, it's not that special since you kind of had to fight him a lot in Sonic Dash, but it would have been cool if they had to drop Zaz from the game, and like the files for Zaz weren't there anymore after you had updated. Which, you know, for archival purposes, is kind of a bummer, but it would actually be kind of a cool thing where, like, he just kind of rotates in and out depending on, like, the update that you download from, you know, the Google Play Store or the Amazon App Store or the iOS iTunes. Like, I kind of feel like more games need to do that kind of themed, or, you know, that kind of timed content. Kind of like you'd see in, like, Christmas nights when you play that game on certain days. Baba's asking if the Andronic is, or, you know, the Android robot and the Andronic are in the Amazon App Store. It should be there. If he doesn't show up, you need, your Android device may not be updating correctly, so you may need to manually go to the Amazon App Store and then update that way. Hey, Howard Drawson! Special thanks. I'm gonna take a drink of water, because I'm feeling dried out. Let's see how many... Oh, I missed one emerald. If I didn't flub on that one, I actually would have been able to get Supersonic, so my apologies. Hey, that's high quality. So yeah, if you want to bounce out, you can exit game while you pause, or if you soft reset using ABC and start, it'll drop you back to the games menu this way. And here we go. So let's see, I think the Android vote has, oh yeah, I guess there are special stage rings in the launch base. I just don't remember off the top of my head where they are, so... My apologies to Photonth, who was angrily trying to tell me where to go. My apologies. But yeah, let's jump back in here real quick, and while I get set up for the next game, I'm going to mute myself so we can watch some videos. It's cool. Sonic movie, it's cool. We're probably not going to watch a whole lot, because, you know, a lot of this stuff, you know, we kind of already seen. Like, this is the first time we've seen, like, the high-quality versions of the Sonic CD videos. There's an advertisement for the Sonic OVA. We'll probably look at these two, and we're going to skip the Japanese commercials, but they are cool. It's kind of weird. I don't remember where I read it, but we didn't get specialized commercials from like American or European territories because Sega would have to have paid the actors royalties for those commercials, and they didn't want to bother with that. So, at the very least, what I will go ahead and do is play these two videos here. And let's see if I can set them to autoplay, and I'm going to be quiet. So stay tuned, folks. Well, that didn't work. Let me try that again. Wait, we got one more to go. I just forgot how to do the autoplay thing.